hydroxychloroquine, when given after exposure to someone with COVID-19, prevent you from getting the disease? And the second question is, if you do have the disease and you start treatment within the first couple of days, are you less likely to have complications?
Those are the questions researchers across Canada and the U.S. are asking in a clinical trial of a drug called hydroxychloroquine and its effects on COVID-19. Here in Montreal, a McGill professor is leading the investigation across the country.
Hydroxychloroquine has been on the market in Canada for decades, and it has a reasonable safety profile, but it's not a benign drug. And so the purpose of the study was really to determine, just how effective is it compared to a placebo.
The drug has been used to treat malaria and lupus and is now being tested on COVID-19 and was touted by U.S. President Donald Trump as a game changer. The international study started a month ago out of University of Minnesota and made its way to Quebec, Alberta, and Manitoba. They've already sent off hydroxychloroquine to be tested in 850 patients across the country in the post-exposure study. This includes testing people within the first few days of being exposed to the virus.
For example, a patient came into the hospital and it just wasn't recognized that they were having symptoms of COVID-19. And so there was unprotected exposure that way for the healthcare workers. You're living in the house with someone else who happens to have COVID-19, but you personally have no symptoms.
And they're studying 350 patients and how the drug affects the virus after having a few days of symptoms.
If they have a new diagnosis of COVID-19, and they've been sick with symptoms for less than 4 days, those are the type of patients we're very interested in for the treatment trial.
Dr. Lee has put out a call for volunteers for the trials. Their goal is to study 1,500 people for both the early treatment and post-exposure studies.
The faster we get the number of people, we may not need another interim analysis.
Dr. Lee says the study has already been independently analyzed and hasn't been found to be a miracle drug. He says to get there, they need more participants. You can go online to covid-19research.ca to fill out a survey to see if you're eligible to be studying with hydroxychloroquine.
If it works, great. Let's make a lot of it. Let's bring it into the supply chain. Let's make sure people have access to it. If it doesn't work, let's just move on to the next thing and find out what does work and stop wasting time.
In Montreal, Alyssia Rubertucci, City News.